Hello everyone, welcome for this today's session. So in the last session we have talked about the Schrodinger wave equation and the harmonic oscillator of a particle and its wave motion and how does it generates the oscillations. So in this tutorial we will be talking about the particle in the potential well, and also we will talk about the hydrogen atom, and then we will talk about the multi-electron atomic structure. So now let us get back to our screen. So let us talk about the particle in the square well. This is a particle in a square potential well. So here we have considered the finite potential well. So we need to understand that previously we have studied the harmonic of oscillations. It means the wave function generates when a particle is moved. For example, when a particle is here, and when a particle due to certain force, if it gets displaced to some other location, then it generates a wave like motion. And now what we assume is that now we consider that the particle is within this well, which is a finite well, which has a potential energy is 0 between minus w to plus w, and outside this region the particle has a potential energy of a constant which is equal to v naught. And this is considered that the box is not rigid, and the potential energy outside the box is also not finite. Now the potential energy outside this box, now I will distribute this as different regions. So let us call this as region 1, and this as region 2, and this as region 3. So we have splitted this 3 into 3 regions, the potential well into 3 regions. It means we have considered that the particle here is moving in a one-dimensional space, that is with respect to an x-axis, and we have put this particle inside a box like there is a potential well, and here we say from this point to this point the potential energy of this particle V is equal to 0, and outside the box the potential energy, it is not infinite but it is some constant, that is V of x is equal to some constant V. Now we use the Schrodinger wave equation to develop our wave phenomenon for this particle motion. So now let us distribute these regions into 3 as we have already done it here. So for the value of x, now if the particle, if it is in the another region, that is the first region, that is for the value of x less than w, so w is certain position here, that is certain points. So we have taken the potential well is from minus w to plus w, that is the first region, and the second region is, we assume that the particle is within this box or within this well, that is from x ranging from minus w to plus w, and the third region is the particle is moved out from this box, so that is x greater than w is the another point. So now let us consider this, assume that the particle is within this box. So when the particle is within this box, how does its motion is replicated in a form of a wave? Basically we assume that the particle is within this box and it is moving, and its motion is replicated in a form of waveform. And to do that, we take here first the region 2 where the value of x range from minus w to plus w, and here if the particle is in the second region, then we know that the potential energy here is equal to 0. So it means within this box the potential energy, if the particle is moving in the x direction, so since we have taken it only the one axis, remember we are talking about the one dimensional axis here. So when the particle is moving in the x-axis direction, either on the positive x-axis or on the negative x-axis within this box, that is from minus w to plus w, then the potential energy of that particle is considered to be as 0. Now if we use the Schrodinger equation, that is second order Schrodinger differential equation, that is d square by dx square, differentiating the state function, this is also called as a wave function, plus k1 square is multiplied is again with the wave function or the state function, which is equal to 0. So now here k is nothing but the square root of 2m into e by h bar or h hat. Now if we solve this equation, then we get the two sine and cosine terms. Here we get this sum. This wave function is the sum of the sine and the cosine function here. So that is what we have to understand. So it means when a particle is within the box and when it moves within the x direction, if this is the x direction and this is the particle, if it is moving in the one dimension, that is in the x direction, then this motion is replicated in a form of sum of sine and cosine functions. So a sine of kx plus b cos of kx. So then we will get some kind of a wave motion, something like this, between the 2 points. So now if we take the potential well here, if I write the potential well here like this, now from this minus w to plus w, and this is the x-axis here. So now from this point to this point, now due to this cos, you may get something like this. When a particle is moved from minus w to plus w, then it replicates a wave function here, means which should be a continuous. Now if we take the other region, that is the region 2 and 3, where the particle is outside this box, it means now the particle either here in the first region or the particle is in the third region. So if we consider that, then the potential energy V of x is equal to some constant, that is V naught. Now we use the Schrodinger wave equation, which is outside the box. Now here the sign is changed, now it has become minus, that is d square by dx square into wave function or the state function minus k2 square into psi, which is equal to 0. This is for the x greater than minus w, less than minus w and greater than w, where the value of k2 here is nothing but the square root of 2m of v naught minus e by h bar square. And when we solve this second equation, if we solve this second equation, this one here, then we will get an exponential terms. The two exponential terms we get here, that is as the wave function. Now this equation represents what is the wave function when the particle is moved here, when the particle is moving here in the region 1 and region 2 along the x-axis, whether positive or negative x-axis, then what is the particle wave motion looks like, and that is represented by an exponential function here. So when we solve the Schrodinger equation for this case, we will get a state function psi is equal to c exponential of alpha x plus d into, okay, so there is a mistake here, just hold on. It is in terms of, rather than alpha, it could have been the k2 here. So let me write this as k2, let me correct, yeah. So c into e power k2x plus d into e power minus k2x. Now if we consider that the particle, if we assume that if the particle is in the region 1, then what happens here? If it is in the region 1, it means the value of x is always negative, and if the particle is continued in the same direction, then it may reaches minus infinity. So when the particle reaches here minus infinity, means if x is always negative and x approaches minus infinity, then this term here, when you substitute x with minus infinity, then e power minus into minus becomes plus, then e power plus infinity, which approaches to infinity. So it means the wave function is infinity. We know that from the Schrodinger or the quantum mechanics that the wave function cannot be an infinite. It should be some real value. So for this, what we do is that we consider this the constant, which the constant c and d. Here in this case we consider the value of d is equal to 0. Therefore our wave function becomes here, that is psi is equal to c into e power alpha x, and that is the wave function for the particle within the region of 1. And similarly, when the particle is in region 3, then by a similar argument, means the same method is applicable. Now when the particle is in the third region, then the value of x keep on continues, then it may reaches plus infinity. When it reaches plus infinity, then if you substitute here in this equation, so again c into e power k to x, if I substitute with this x equal to infinity, then what happens is that now e power infinity is again approaches to infinity. So again the wave function cannot be an infinite, it has to be a finite. So we'll make in this case we'll make c is equal to 0, then we will get only the wave function psi is equal to d into e power minus alpha x. Now if the particle is in the region 3, now this is the wave function if the particle is in the region 3. Now let us write this completely, now combining all the three wave functions here. Then sorry, let me write it neatly. So then here, so if we consider this is our potential well, this is our potential well, this is the our box, the potential well box, and here the potential energy is 0 if the particle is moving within minus w to plus w. This is the x-axis with 0 in the center, and this is v is equal to v naught some constant. And now this is our region 1, this is our region 3, and this is our region 2. Now from the Schrodinger equation for region 2, we got if the particle is moving from minus w to plus w, then it is a sum of sine and cosine, so we'll get something like this. And now if the particle is moving in the negative direction, now from this equation we get the wave function psi is equal to c into e power plus alpha x. Okay, so let me correct this, it is not again alpha, it is k2 here as well as I think here, yes. So it is k2, it is k2, yes. Okay. So even here I need to make some corrections. Okay, so now what happens? Now with this, what happens as the value of x, now if you look into this equation, if the value of x keep on negative, then e power minus negative value is decay exponential. So on this side, what happens? The motion of the particles and the wave functions will get something like this, but it will never go to 0 because exponential term will never go to 0 here. So I should write something like this we will get. And with this equation in the region 3 where the wave function psi is equal to d into e power minus k to x, so it means when I substitute the positive values of x as the particle is moving in this region as the positive value of x, again I'll get the decaying exponential on the region 3. So I'll get like this. Now, so now the motion of the particle, now what happens? Now particle is moving from say minus infinity to plus infinity on the x-axis direction, then its motion is represented by a wave function in this way, like this. And now from this point minus w to plus w, now here we have the maximum value, and outside this it is decay exponential on the either side of the region 1 or region 2. Now this is with respect to one energy level. Now if the same wave function is written for the different energy levels, then it will be something like this. So let me write here. So this is x. So assume this is a potential, the dotted line, assume this is a potential well, and the region which is left to this dotted line and right to this dotted line is, this is region 3 you can consider, and this is the region 1 you can consider, and this is the region 2, which means the potential well. Now for the different energy levels, now if I consider the first energy level, then for the first energy level, as we have seen above, we will get the wave equation as the particle moves from minus infinity to plus infinity on the x-axis, then we will get a wave-like motion like this. And for higher energy levels, the wave function we may get something like this. and the penetration get lesser and lesser as we go. The penetration in these regions, in this region as well as in this region, it get lesser and lesser as we go for higher and higher energy states. Now let me call this as the wave function 2 and this is the wave function 1. Okay, and we know that for this the wave function has to be continuous, so then the both psi and its derivative with respect to x-axis have to be continuous. So it have to be continuous at x equal to plus or minus w. Then we obtain in terms of tan and cot value, that is k1 w tan k1 w, which is equal to k2 w and k1 w tan. Okay, it's done. So k1 w cot k1 w is equal to minus k2 w. Now from these equations we can even obtain the value for k1 and k2. So the point which I need to highlight here is that now here, now the wave function, that is the psi 1 and psi 2, has exponential like tails. Now as you can see, now both these wave functions has exponential like tails outside the box or outside the potential well, and the penetration of the wave function into these regions increases with E. And if V naught now increased, then what happens? The number of allowed energy levels is also increased. Means we are restricted to say the potential energy is V is equal to V naught. Now if we increase the some constant that V naught, then the number of allowed energy levels also increases. Okay, so this is what this is about the potential well, and we have seen how the particle moving in the one dimension, its motion is represented in the wave function using the Schrodinger wave equation and with the potential well. Alright. So now let us talk about the hydrogen atom, and then we will talk about the multi-electron atoms. So we know that this is the first atom in the periodic table, or it's the first material in periodic table which starts with, because it has only one electron in the one orbit. And when we see the proton and the electron, the weight of the proton is 1837 times greater than the electron. So the mass of this proton is considered to be as infinite when compared to the electron, and the movement of electron is considered to be as a wave motion in a Coulomb field of a fixed nuclei. Got it? So it means we consider here the mass of the proton is equal to infinity when compared to electron. So therefore the motion of this, the motion inside the system is because of this electron wave like motion we are going to be considering. And since it is we need to consider it is in a spherical coordinate system, because the motion is in a three-dimensional space, so it is a spherical coordinate system which we need to consider here. So the spherical coordinate system means we have the three directions here like this, and if say if the particle is somewhere here, then it is from the distance r, and this angle, so let me take this as x, y and z directions, and this is considered to be as theta, sorry, this is theta and this is phi. Now this is called as a spherical coordinate system. Now here this particle is there, it is in a spherical coordinate system, and it is represented by the three-dimensional axis. Now the distance from the nucleus of this particle is r, and the the angular distance with respect to z axis is theta, and on the two-dimensional plane on the xy it is, the distance is phi, the angle is phi. Now if we consider the potential energy of the electron at distance r, the potential energy of electron at a distance r from proton. Now this is considered as an electron, and this center here is the proton and the distance is r. Then its potential energy is given by V of r is equal to minus q square by 4 pi epsilon naught r. And by taking the second order differential equation of Schrodinger wave equation, then we have that the gradient square into state function plus 2m by h bar square of E minus V psi, which is equal to 0. Now if we substitute this in this below equation, so then we will get here as the gradient square psi plus 2m naught by h bar square into E plus q square by 4 pi epsilon naught r. Now the wave function is with respect to these spherical coordinate system, now that is represented as r, theta and phi, which is equal to 0. Let us call this as equation number 1. Now after solving this equation and representing this in a spherical coordinate system, now the wave function with respect to r, theta and phi, which becomes r of r, which is represented r of r, theta of theta and phi of phi. Now here the hydrogen atom wave function, now this is the hydrogen atom wave function and this is called as the atomic orbital. And to represent the atomic orbital of one electron, we need to have the wave functions with some values with n and l. So where the value of n range from, so n can take any value from 1 to up to any integer value, and L takes the value from 0 to n minus 1. And for the, if we talk about the hydrogen atom here, in case of hydrogen atom there is only one principal shell, so therefore the value of n becomes 1, and for this case L is equal to 0 to n minus 1. So here n is equal to 0, so we have n minus 1, that is 1 minus 1, it becomes 0, so we have L is equal to 0. So it means now the electron will be in the 1s orbital, and the electron that is described by this function is called, it is in Ls orbital state. Now the constraints of defining N, L and ML imposed during the solution of the hydrogen atom of Schrodinger equation. So that explains us why there is a single 1s orbital and why there should be a 3 2p orbitals and why 5 3d orbitals and etc. And all these things we will see. And for the multi-electron atoms, these constraints we will see in the coming sessions. And the periodic table is actually a representation of the Schrodinger model and the physical constraints imposed to the imposed to obtain the solutions of the Schrodinger equations for the hydrogen atoms. Now we will see here the result of the Schrodinger solution for the hydrogen atom. So let me write here like this, and this is the distance r. So now this axis represents the r, the radius of the electron. So let us take this as 0 radius, this is 5, this is 10, and so on. It continues. Likewise, this is minus 5, minus 10, and so on. And this y-axis represents the potential energy. So potential energy is 0, here it is minus 5, here it is minus 10, here it is minus 15. So this is the potential energy in terms of electron volts. And now for the hydrogen atom with the different energy levels, and the potential energy looks something like this. So this is energy at n equal to 1, and this is the energy at n equal to 2, and this is the energy n equal to 3. So it's a potential energy curve, and the first three energy levels are shown, and the wave function, if we see for different energy levels here with respect to the distance r, so then we'll get to see like this. So this is for n is equal to 1 and L is equal to 0. It means this is purely for the hydrogen atom, and this defines the wave function here. So this is the wave function. So this, let me write as figure A. So this is the potential energy curve, and first three energy levels. And if you represent the radial position probability, then the radial probability graph with respect to its r and the magnitude of the wave function multiplied by r square, then it looks like this. So this is for n is equal to 1 and L is equal to 0. So this is figure C is radial position probability for state with n equal to 1 and L is equal to 0. Now if we can see from this graph, here we have the maximum for the wave function which is closer to the radius. Now this is true for the hydrogen atom because the electron exists there, which is in the first orbit. So it is very close to the proton. So as you can see, the wave function, it degrades with respect to distance r, increases as the r increases here. So this is about the hydrogen atom and the potential well. So in the next class we will talk about more of multi-electron atom structure, shells, subshells and its orbitals. Okay. Thank you for watching this session.